Jerry Jones, of course, can't have an off season or enter into a season without stirring up some drama.
Facts.
So he buys a $28.1 million house. Now, how do I know that? Because he says it. It's mentioned that he wanted to show up our boy Shaq. I got a bigger house than Shaq. Because, again, it's all about swinging the you-know-what around to let people know how big you are and how great you are. So he's flaunting how much money he bought on a new mansion. And yet, with all the injuries in the receiving core, he won't go out and get a new wide receiver. Does that upset you, TJ? Does that, stop talking about the house and get me someone that can take it to the house?
Right? I mean, I don't know what's going on. We made a list the other day of some pretty decent free agents out there. And then the second we said it, we looked on Twitter. Jerry doesn't plan on addressing the wide receiver.
So why not? I mean, Michael Gallup is like a guy, and he's hurt.
He's hurt.
You know who else? Another guy is hurt.
Get damn act together.
James White, he's like, I got to get a new pontoon boat for Jeannie. And it's like, all right, listen, you don't need to be spending on, you don't need another pontoon boat to take on Lake Grapevine out there. Just focus on your team. You don't want to be 9-8 or 8-9. You know, you're actually in a very winnable division, bro. Yeah. I wouldn't say the Eagles are juggernauts. I wouldn't say the the Commanders are juggernauts. I wouldn't say that the Giants are down. Like, that division is winnable.
And we've won it.
And you've won it. But I will say this, like when I was mentioning the great quarterbacks earlier on the show with Adam Rank, you've got sort of like your Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, and then you've got
tier one guys.
Yeah, that's the tier one. Those guys are unbelievable. They're older. Then you got your Russell Wilsons, and I'm trying to think of another person who's been around longer. But then you've got all these great young guns, the Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allens and Justin Herberts and those players. Notice I didn't mention Dak Prescott. I think he's good. I don't think he's elite. I think he's good. I don't think he's elite. I don't think you need to be elite to win that division, but I mean, this is the guy you're riding with for the next several years. How do you feel about that, TJ?
I mean, on field, I think Dak gets a lot. He gets a knock against him because I feel like when you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, you have a spotlight on you, regardless. You know, as America's we look team. At every morning, every sports show when we're waiting to come on has their lower third, and it's some ridiculous thing about is Dak under the most pressure. Here's the deal about Dak. Like, Dak can go 6-11. He's still going to be the quarterback of the Cowboys next year because of this fact. Your quarterback's like your CEO of your team, right? And it's one thing. Yeah, obviously you want to have success on the field. That's paramount, right? It's what you have to have. But you also don't want to like get a text in the middle of the night that your quarterback, the face of your franchise, is out doing some, wild stuff.
Right. He's a guy you can rely on.
You can rely on
That's
him.
Right.
So, I mean, and I know we're looking at you have to win football games. Granted, that is true. But the Dallas Cowboys are the most valuable franchise in sports, right? There's a lot more that goes in.
That came out more than the Yankees, $6.5 billion.
And it's not even really close to the second. So,
I mean,
I feel like Dak is much better than people give him credit for. Is he a tier one quarterback right now? No.
I don't
but
think so.
Who is Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers? There's not; those guys don't grow on trees.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Who is Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers? TJ asks inquisitively.
Well, I'm saying, like, we can't. You're not just going to find guys like that.
You can't just pull those guys.
And also we look at quarterbacks as like, are you a guy who likes quarterback one-loss records? Because I'm like, there's 22 guys out in that field that have to work together to get a win. So to strictly just put that on the quarterback is always a little weird.
It's not all on him. So you need receivers, Jerry Jones. Stop buying houses and go out and buy a wide receiver for your guy to do that. This is who you are. Be the franchise that is the most valuable franchise out there. Listen, if he's the CEO, then the coach has to be the chairman of the board, and that would make Jerry Jones the owner god, which I know he feels that way. But like, so you're the chairman of the board of this team, which is like a company. Why would you want to be chairman of the board if, like, Jimmy Johnson gives him 2 Super Bowl rings and you're going to play him like he's playing him in terms of, like, I'll put you in the Ring of Honor, but I'm not going to set a date for that. I mean, who's he going to put in front of him? Chan Gailey?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
going to put Gary Hogaboom up there Hogaboom, Q Carter, just to, like, throw even more shade at the guy who gave you 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, who knows? Like we've talked about this many times here.
Petty.
Like if I wish somebody could have just sat those two down.
Agreed.
And been like, look at what you have. And look what you're about to lose. Obviously, you didn't know that then. But it's so frustrating when you think of that team could have possibly won 4 Super Bowls in a row had Jimmy not gotten fired.
I know, and you say about Jimmy Johnson, okay, fine, but mend the fence. Like that was the best time in your history in recent, certainly in the last 25 years. That's the best time that your last 30 years. That's the time right there you want to look back on. Why does there need to be, acrimony? Why does there not? Why do
what
you
was
guys?
The word, Chris? Sniveling? Was that
Sniveling? Calls him sniveling. Sniveling Jim. Sniveling Jimmy. It's kind of like Slippin' Jimmy in Better Call Saul. He's sniveling Jimmy.
But obviously, these guys, they went to college together. They have a long history. And I'm sure there's things, obviously, that we'll never know that have transpired between the two of them. They, as far back as they go to the early
But he's
teens,
all about
20s.
image.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones knows it's about what you show. It's about the 750-foot flat screen TV that's at the center of your thing. Like, it's all about the image. It's about the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. It's about all that stuff. Yeah. Why can't you at least forget about what's behind the scenes? Don't be a petty owner. Put it to rest for your fans like you and induct the guy in the Ring of Fame. Who's going to be mad about Jimmy Johnson? There's only one person who's going to be mad about you giving him his spotlight, and his name is Jerry Jones.
And it shouldn't be, because without him, those 3 trophies that you got, you don't have those.
I 100% agree. All right.